You know how it goes in wrestling. Everyone's got an opinion. And sometimes that opinion turns into criticism. Well, it seems like WWE's Liv Morgan has been on the receiving end of some negativity lately, and she's decided enough is enough because she went public firing back directly at those criticizing her work and her work of place, WWE. What exactly sparked this? What'd she say to shut down the haters? Well, we're going to be breaking down Liv Morgan's fiery response right now. Let's get into it. Now, Liv Morgan, she is currently off WWE television. She's filming a new movie. And it's a big role. I think a lot of people were let down. I will credit Mike Johnson of PW Insider talking about how, hey, y'all, she's not in a new Spider-Man movie. She's not in an Avengers movie. It's a big role, but it's not what you think, right? All these people had all this built up. Bad Lieutenant Tokyo comes out and everyone's like, well, what is this? It's like, y'all, it's a big part for her, right? And she's going to be off of television for a while. And that sucks. PW Insider says she'll be away at least several weeks. Brian Alvarez noted on Wrestling Observer Radio that Liv Morgan is expected to be off of television starting this week. She will not be on the May 5th episode of Monday Night Raw. So that does suck, but let's shift into where we have been because it sets up this story and it sets up her firing back. Because while, yes, Liv Morgan will be off of WWE television for a while, and that would definitely suck, she has left a very interesting imprint before her hiatus, right? So we go from Women's World Champion, Breakout 2024, losing that Women's World Championship to Rhea Ripley, January 6th, Monday Night Raw Netflix premiere. And a lot of people had questions. Where would Liv Morgan go? Well, they pivoted. They elevated Raquel Rodriguez. They put her in a tag team. Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, women's tag team champions. They go into WrestleMania. They lose said championships to a returning Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria, only to win it back the next night on Monday Night Raw. Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, once again tag team champions. Well, there was evidently a little bit of an outrage in regards to WWE fans putting Liv and Raquel Rodriguez together as a tag team. I didn't see this. I thought it was a brilliant pivot. Well, Liv Morgan recently discussed this, firing back at the criticism while doing a Fanatics live signing with Tyler Breeze. And she was asked, I love this. She was asked what she does have to say to the fans who feel that Raquel Rodriguez is holding her back. Okay. She said, I think that is a very bold and assumptionist question to ask because Raquel Rodriguez is not holding me back. If anything, Raquel lifts me up. Do you know how freeing it is? Give my sister some credit and her flowers. We are the first and only history-making, record-breaking, 3-time women's tag team champions. Do you know what that makes us, guys? Do you know what that makes us? That makes us the greatest tag team champions of all time. Okay, so yes, they are 3-time tag team champions. You're asking, can you not do math? Well, if you recall, okay, before this recent iteration, they were tag team champions before when Liv Morgan was still in that weird utility player role, right? And Raquel was first called up to the main roster. They were actually in a tag team, so they have actually a lot of history. Now, Raquel is probably getting the biggest push of her career thus far on the main roster with Liv, and I'm very curious to see what they do with Raquel Rodriguez while Liv Morgan is away from television. Will they keep her on television? If they do so, is she just going to work singles matches? Is she just going to be, in backstage segments with the Judgment Day? I'm very curious. I would assume it's the latter, and they'll just keep her out of the ring. But if I'm them, I'm putting her in squash matches. So it kind of builds up her credibility a little bit more as someone who can win matches on her own, but that's just me. Now, is it true that Raquel Rodriguez is holding back Liv Morgan? Is it true that Liv Morgan being paired in a tag team with Raquel Rodriguez a bad thing for her career? No, it's not. And I'll tell you why. So when Liv Morgan was feuding with Rhea, we all knew this storyline is ending with Raquel Rodriguez witnessing Liv Morgan losing the championship to Rhea Ripley, right? And once they made the Raw Netflix match happen, it's like, okay, here's a title change. And my concern coming out of this was, what was WWE going to be doing with Liv Morgan going forward? Because you go from being on the highest of high, the queen of the division, almost a year-long reign, an epic feud that went much longer than people anticipated. And then what? What's the fallout, right? Do you go back to being a utility player? Well, I didn't think that. I thought Liv did enough to earn main event status, be at the top of the card, etc., right? But what would she do? And WWE going, you know what? Okay, we're not going to have you as women's champion right now. And we don't want you necessarily challenging for the title right now, because we have no intentions of putting the title on you. We don't really want to water you down. So we're trying to make Raquel a big star. You're obviously paired with her. Why not just put y'all back together as a tag team? We're going to be dropping the titles off of Bianca Belair. Really a combination of Bianca Belair, Naomi, and Jade Cargill. They built those titles up pretty well. Why don't we hand it off to Liv and Raquel? It does two things. Number one, it keeps Liv in a top-tier role as a champion, and it continues the prestige of the women's tag team titles. So both sides win. You accomplish two things out of one scenario. Sounds like a good deal to me. And that's exactly what they did, right? And the great thing about the women's tag team division is this. You don't necessarily have traditional tag teams in this division, but what you do have is a situation in which you can put two stars together that currently don't have major storylines or significant plans. You put them together, and you have these banger-type feuds and matches, and it gets these women on television instead of just sitting back and catering. It's, once again, a win-win scenario. Why wouldn't you want to do that? Why wouldn't you want to go in that direction? And that's exactly what they did with Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez and Bianca Belair and Naomi and Jade Cargill and all these other talents. It's a beautiful thing. It's a good thing to do. And I honestly hope that WWE continues to do this. You know, it's a win-win for everyone in my eyes. Maybe not in yours, but at least in mine, it's a win-win. So let me know down in the comments area below. What do you think of Liv Morgan's comments? What do you think of her ideology, her thought process, and more? I'd love to hear what you guys have to say down in the comments area below, because I think it's very interesting the way that Liv views things, the way that Liv looks at things. And it's going to be interesting to see where things go from here.